I think we have to clarify what this discussion is about. This discussion is, if I may phrase it correctly, I read from the editorial of Fiona Godley on the British Medical Journal on the 29th of October. Why aren't all clinical data routinely available for independent scrutiny once a regulatory decision has been made? The whole debate is about commercial companies and their evaluation of their products. Here we're talking about access to data for medicines that have been authorized. As some of the speakers have recognized, there are good advances in terms of clarity. The EMA has a very clear policy now, thanks also to the support of the European Ombudsman. The agency is on the record that as of day zero of the authorization of a medicine, they will make data, or the whole sets of data available on request. This is, I think, the subject of the conversation today. Mr. Hammerstein said that today the discussion centered about the proposal for a clinical trial regulation. I beg to differ. The subject of the proposal for a clinical trial regulation as the subject of the current clinical trials directive is not what data are necessary for a marketing authorization, and hence what data must be disclosed. It's about the authorization process for all clinical trials, commercial and non-commercial, linked to the development of a medicine, not linked to the development of a medicine. As Mr. Busoi said, in the last 5 years, Europe has lost over 25% of the application for new clinical trials. If I may use a stupid pun, we are bleeding clinical trials, and what we are bleeding is not the commercial clinical trials by Big Pharma, which I assume can pretty much take whatever we throw at them. We're bleeding small, academic, non-for-profit, publicly funded clinical trials in areas such as oncology, hematology, rare diseases, and so on and so forth. So we have to be extremely clear about this, extremely clear about what I know this sounds perhaps like a bureaucrat's response, and this is not the right place, etc., etc., but this is what it does. And I think that, as Dr. Goldacre made it clear, here I think my personal view, if I may express one, is that the big problem we have is with compliance with existing rules and enforcement of existing rules. The rules are there. The possibility to have access to clinical trial data for authorized medicine is there. EMA is saying so. The national authorities for nationally authorized medicines have the possibility of requesting to the applicant or the holder of the marketing authorization. And I hope Mr. O'Regan, the representative of the Ombudsman, will make this clear for us today. All the raw data sets for medicines that are authorized, and I haven't heard any regulatory agency saying that the policy that EMA has announced and is following now is against the existing rules. So this is my point of caution. We are extremely happy with the reception of the proposal of the Commission's proposal by researchers, also industry, even though it's not exactly what industry wanted in terms of structure of the proposal, cancer charities, cancer researchers. The European Patients Forum has been on record with positive comments. Of course, we can always try to make it better, and I'm sure that the Parliament will try to make it better, and the Member States so. But I think that it's fundamental to have an informed debate around this proposal. I come from this perspective, and this is my point. Final point. Of course, there are points that can be perhaps improved. The 5 years for the master file, I would like Professor Goethe to go and speak to the European Data Protection Supervisor. There are other issues that I'm sure this House will look at, and we'll try to make it better. But please, be aware of the difference between what this proposal does and what are the rules for disclosure of data concerning clinical trials for authorized medicine.